heavy silence falls over Serin and I, both of us consumed with thoughts. Eventually, I shake my head to get rid of the worries, and slide my hand across the bed to take hold of his. It's all right, Serin. You attend to your duties, and I will to mine. However, I will for sure look for you when I'm finished with all I have to do. And I will always be right here, waiting for you. He gives me a warm, affectionate smile and a light squeeze of my hand, which I return with eagerness. The conversation takes a lighter turn after that, shifting to topics about the future, our hopes, plans, and dreams. At some point, we somehow find ourselves having shifted under the blankets together, lying side by side in the small bed, close enough that our breaths tickle each other's faces. Our voices lower into whispers, fueled by the new intimacy of our positions and the darkness of the room. I'm unsure exactly when my train of thought slows to a crawl, and the haze of sleep creeps up on me. All I know is I'm overwhelmed by this sense of comfort and safety, surrounded by the warm embrace of his arms, voice, and smell. The last thing I remember is his fingers tangled in my hair, stroking with a gentle rhythm that lulls me to a calm, peaceful sleep. Russell. I wake to the weight shifting in the mattress. The corner of my vision is still blurry. We fell asleep without distinguishing the candles. Outside the window, the sky is taking on the first lighter hues of dawn, yet the sun still rests well below the horizon. Serin sits upright next to me, his warmth still lingering in the sheets underneath. My apologies, did I wake you? He shifts closer, caressing my cheek with the palm of his hand. No. Sleepily, I nuzzle it up against his palm. My action seems to startle Serin as he pauses in his touch. Are you going back? Yes, the sun will rise soon and I have to get ready for the coronation ceremony. Serin's voice is slightly hoarse and just above a whisper. I snake my arms around his neck, pulling him so close he's half laying on me. Can you not stay for a bit longer? I ask in a droopy murmur. Even above the fabric of Serin's shirt, I feel a slight tremble running through him, his skin turns scorching hot. He hesitates and inhales deeply as if out of breath. Fully awake, I look up at him, now aware of the warning glint in his eyes. Something in my chest tightens. Oh my god, spur him the fuck on. Feeling mischievous, I reach out to open the first button of Serin's shirt. Serin's eyes widen, his fingers close around my wrist to stop me from accomplishing my goal, but they stay firm for just one moment. Oops. What? Why did that go so fast? No? I ask, my eyes twinkling with intention. A tremor runs through Serin as he loosens his grip, allowing me to advance if I want to. After a moment of silence, I do. Reaching out, my fingers touch the topmost button. I open it, earning myself a shiver. I trace along the placket. Finding another button, I open it as well, and then another. With every button that pops open, Serin's eyes turn darker and his fingers curl into the pillow where his hand rests on either side of my head. Valkii. Never before have I heard Serin call my name like this, thick and husky. The sound ignites a low-burning flame that runs through me and rests in the pit of my stomach. Serin's brows are drawn together in concentration, and daringly I trace my palm against the expanse of skin exposed. It feels like a dam was broken when Serin lets go of the last of his restraint. Oh, they finally kiss! Then he closes the gap between us and presses his lips onto mine. The action feels urgent, almost rough, contrasting starkly to his usual demeanor. I respond with no less enthusiasm. My hands roam and finally rest on his chest. Heat radiates from his skin, causing me to feel slightly feverish. When almost out of air, I allow myself a breathy intake as he nibbles on my lips. His scent, usually so calming, does nothing to relax me at the moment. Instead, it spurs me on. And the moment Serin starts tracing the lines of my waist, I know my question is answered. Yes, he will stay for a while longer. They fucked. Good. Lady Rosencruz, time to wake up. Reluctantly, I force my eyelids open. Sava is standing in front of my bed, laying my clothes neatly above the blanket. She smiles when she sees I am awake. Rubbing my eyes, not bothering to suppress a yawn, I glance at the empty space next to me. Serin's warmth is long gone, but his scent still lingers. He must have sneaked out some time after I fell asleep again. I am properly dressed in my pajama, and my body is cleaned without a trace left behind. Imagining Serin's expression as he took care of me, I cannot help but chuckle. You're going to be late if you don't hurry. Thank you, Sava. It will be just a minute. Leaping out of bed, I put on my attire. Sava stands next to me, gently helping me wherever needed. Sava, why didn't you wake me earlier? I meant to, Lady Rosencruz, but a sparrow told me you were tired and should be resting for a bit longer. I blush at the realization. Sava must have caught Serin when he sneaked back out. Your Highness, you still have much to learn in the arts of stealth. I give an awkward cough and Sala decides to professionally ignore the matter with a chuckle. Are you ready? Maybe. I smooth the front of my dress and spin around to face her. How do I look, Sala? Like a royal alchemist. I laugh, throwing my arms around her from sheer delight. Sala, I'm so happy. So am I, Lady Rosencruz. Thanks for everything, Sala. But we should be the ones thanking you, Lady Rosencruz. Come, everyone is waiting. She disentangles herself. I walk with her to the door of my bedroom, puzzled by the amusement dancing in her eyes. They all want to have a little talk with you before we leave. She pushes open the door. Awake at last, sleepyhead? Good morning to you too, Nari. Nari, deadpanned as ever, leans against the balustrade, arms folded. Next to him stands the king, tapping impatiently with his foot and looking irritable. We'll end up missing Seren's coronation ceremony if you keep dawdling. Good morning, your majesty. A ghost of a smile flits across his face. No more of that, if you please. I won't be my majesty any longer after this. A tousled head peeks from behind Neri's trousers. Beringer, with his usual shyness, regards the man standing before him. Are you really going to stop being the king? Yes, child, I am abdicating. Abdicating? It means I am handing the throne to my successor. Don't you want it anymore? A land can only have a single king, child, and I'd like my son to have his turn. Besides, I owe our royal alchemist's father a visit I am inclined to pay sooner rather than later. Why don't you want to be the king instead of Serin? Because the prospect of a Rosencruz lineage on the throne of Eskia is, for many good reasons, unlikely to be popular either with our neighbours or the High Council. I intend my line to hold Eskia, but our hold will never be secure unless we have the Council's open support. Beringer blinks his big eyes at the king, no doubt not understanding one word of his speech. Your Majesty, members of the High Council keep themselves above national and international politics. My dear Neri, I have had dealings with the members of the High Council while I was the King of Eskia, and I know few who keep to that rule. Before we can think of a reply, the bells in the palace begin to chime. Beringer, who was looking helplessly mystified by our discussion, claps his hand with a shout. It's starting! It's starting! What are we waiting for? Let's go. Looking for once as excited as Beringer, the king hurries our small group towards the throne room where Seren's coronation is about to take place. Attired in robes of state, Serin marches slowly and magnificently up the throne room in time to the rings of the great bells. Immediately behind him are Aurelius and Lord Regent, followed by 2 columns of attendants, their uniforms burnished until they gleam like silver in the light. On Serin's left, parade of column... it's really late, but I really want to finish this, and my mind is just pew! On Seren's left parade, a column of haughty knights drawn exclusively from the high aristocracy of Eskia. They signal the continued dominance of noble influence. The ceremony is as much an occasion to rejoice for the nobility as it is for Eskia's new king. On Seren's right parade, a column of noble knights and richly garbed patriarchs, all from the kingdom's greatest merchant clans. That the captains of commerce can now walk behind their monarch is the clearest symbol of the merchant's ascendancy. Whoa! What a grand spectacle. At the king's insistence, we squeezed ourselves in the furthest corner of the room, unnoticed and ignored by servants chattering in their own little groups. I am secretly every bit as awed by the ceremony as the starry-eyed Beringer, yet I am determined not to show it. Anyone would have thought you've never seen a coronation before. Being in one is not the same as seeing one. Besides, I was crowned in a barn. You were what? Oh yes, it was on the eve of an important battle. Geryon talked me into it. He said it would boost the morale of our men and the legitimacy of our cause, which at that point hadn't gotten beyond adventurism and loot. Did it? It did, imagine that. Geryon and I treated it as a bit of a joke. But before the month was up, the bunch of rascals and scoundrels I commanded started referring to themselves as soldiers of the Royal Army. One thing led to another, and well, here I am. Life is a curious thing. Procession halts in front of the dais. The attendants bend on one knee while Serin and Aurelius continue walking up the dais. The throne room falls quiet. Everyone is waiting for this moment. Serin takes the crown from its resting place beside the throne and places it on his head. As he does so, Aurelius and the Lord Regent kneel. A At this signal, all spectators in the throne room drop to their knees and shout in unison. Long live the king! Long live the king! Long live the king! The former king characteristically makes no move to kneel, leaning instead on the wall with a sardonic expression on his face. Good luck, Serin. I hear him murmur softly in the ensuing silence. Time to leave, Valkii. We overstay our welcome. He turns to leave, yet I stay for another moment. I look at Serin, magnificently dressed, his statesmanship as quiet as the first day I met him. It may just be my imagination, but I feel his gaze on me as well. I will be back soon, Serin. A smile tugs at my lips and melancholy enters my eyes as I too turn around. With that, we leave the palace, cantering down the highway leading out of Fostrox to the great wide world. Across the lands, people have characterized Serin as a softer ruler than his father, though they unanimously agree he is an energetic and capable administrator. I think this, however, is a misjudgment of Serin's kingship. King Serin is just as strong as his father, but his strength springs from a different source: diplomacy and influence instead of force and raw power. Plotting nobles found themselves isolated, their conspiracies were riven apart from within. Foreign powers that coveted Eskian territory turned into targets of their neighbours' avarice. Soon after Serin's coronation, the Treaty of Alliance between Eskia and Marin was signed, and I have no doubt it will play a pivotal role in the histories of both nations in the centuries to come. Nazir, on the other hand, eventually returned to Eskia. I remember the feeling of relief when I read so in my correspondence with Serin. Nobody knows where he had gone, but as predicted, he came back stronger than before, even responsible. Taking over the duties he has left behind, Nazir aids his brothers greatly in their rulership. Aurelius embarked on a brilliant career as an officer in the newly reformed Royal Eskian Army. I hear he serves his nation with courage and distinction, not that I expected any less. Despite constant efforts by rebellious vassals hoping to provoke civil strife, I hear Aurelius enjoys an excellent relationship with King Serin. He should be the most trusted advisor to his elder brother. After the coronation ceremony, the Lord Regent was retained by King Serin on the royal cabinet, where he continued to counsel restraint, caution, and patience. I am sure he's more relaxed and happier with the burden of government lifted from his shoulders. Marshal Garrian, on his side, embarked on an ambitious recruitment drive after Serin's coronation, quickly bringing the decimated royal guards in Fostrox up to strength. In Eskia, I hear Ceridwen turned social events into something of an art form, of which she is an undisputed master. Her skills as a hostess for gatherings of all kinds, from formal banquets to casual tea parties, made her reputation stretch beyond Eskia's borders. Her dinner parties are famous all over the world, and invitations to them are highly sought after by all. Marigold writes to me often. She is still working as a maidservant in the palace. Her presence seems as discreet and unobtrusive as ever. In her letters, she writes about inventions and asks me many questions whenever there is anything she's unsure of. Her thirst for knowledge really is limitless, even though she doesn't show it to just anyone. At her suggestion, several technical upgrades were implemented throughout the palace. I am sure that significantly lightened the work of the servants. In her last letter, she mentioned that she unexpectedly won the heart of a powerful nobleman. He proposed to her, and I really wonder, what will her answer be? Intrepid, shrewd, and utterly ruthless where commerce is concerned, Viola expanded the Merchants Guild's activities across Eskia and beyond. Rare spices, luxurious fabrics, and glittering gemstones cross the trade routes to Eskia by caravan, cargo ship, and camelback. I am sure a period of prosperity for the Eskian merchants is to come. Once in a while, I receive packages from far away, unusual requests for items of trade that make me chuckle. Under Issa's stewardship, the White Hart grew from a national to an international hit. Foreign tourists would stream into Fostrox just for the chance to sit in the bar room of the White Hart and savour a tankard of its rich, dark, bitter ale. In a letter, Issa mentioned that he had the tavern expanded to be bigger and grander than ever. Harris was brought a prisoner to the High Council. Even after several interrogations regarding his deviant powers and the lieback incident, he remains silent until today. I believe the Council has given up on his cooperation for now, letting him live peacefully for a while before resuming their work. After his success in rescuing children from the slaver aiding Eskia in capturing a dangerous deviant, Nari achieved many more successes and missions that took him far and wide over the lands. I still see him from time to time, even though our missions rarely intersect. Deadpanned as ever, he still sort of represents a father figure to Beringer and helped him put away painful memories of his lost home and friends. As for Beringer, with the guidance of Father, he landed himself a spot on the High Council. Right now, he works as an assistant in the Herb Hall, responsible for gathering alchemical resources. It's a small position, but well, the brat is still young. He has a long way to go. As for Serin and I, we often exchanged letters. Whenever I am assigned to a field mission, I would pick up my quill and write to him. Every once and then, my travels take me to Eskia. I would visit Serin and show him all the strange things I have come across. I would prepare dishes of far origins to show him the taste. 3 years after my departure from Eskia, in the icebound rim of the utmost north, rumors of a fleet of dragon-prowed ships disturbed the Council of Kings. Eskia joined the Council's forces to stop the Sval invasion. In response, the High Council established a local office on these lands and promoted me to become the executive in charge of it. I awakened to the first sliver of sunlight cracking through the clouds. Opening my eyes and gazing at the beginning of dawn outside the window, I had a yawn and turned my head to the other side. Despite already knowing what I'll find, my heart swells at the sight I'm greeted with. Serin's head is resting on the pillow next to mine, barely a few inches away. His face is peaceful and content, handsome as always, even in sleep. The rise and fall of his chest from his quiet breathing causes the blanket to slip, revealing his well-defined collarbone and his bare chest. My cheeks heat up, but it doesn't deter me from continuing to admire the view. I would stay in this position forever if I could, but the nagging thought in the back of my mind about the talks and meetings that await us today finally becomes too much to bear. With a sigh, I try to untangle my arms and legs from Serin's embrace so I can slip out. Despite my attempts to be careful, my movements wake Serin. He stirs, his arms around me tighten, and I hear his husky voice thick with sleep from behind me. No, just a little longer. I tug my arm harder, fighting against his grip, but Serin's adamant this morning. He leans his weight slightly on top of me, just enough to avoid crushing me while making sure there's nowhere I can go. Giving up with a laugh, I fall back into his arms and poke his chest playfully. We need to get ready soon, Serin. That is, unless you'd like to greet my father naked. Serin buries his nose deeper into my hair. I laugh again. I must say I admire the boldness in your plans, but I'm afraid I must disagree as to whether that would be the best way to break the news of our relationship to him. Serin groans, but he obliges and reluctantly releases me. Finally freed, I slide off the bed, standing up with a stretch. Noticing that he has no intention to follow suit, I place my hand on his arm and give him a slight push. Get up, Serin. We don't want to be late for the meeting today. Serin rolls away from me and buries his face in the pillow. It seems hard to reconcile Serin with this unexpectedly childish act, yet it strikes me as strangely endearing, because it is. And his clear reluctance for our time together to end is nothing but heartwarming. The court members can handle it. We have discussed enough about the raiding and slavery problems in Sval for them to know what to do. Yes, but still, you're the king, remember? And I'm one of the High Council's representatives. We both need to be present for the talks. Serin doesn't reply, but I see him sinking his face deeper into the pillow. Laughing again, I lean down to press a kiss to the back of his head. Don't be so put out. Aren't you always quick to sneak away in the mornings? At least this time I'm leaving with you. He pushes himself into a sitting position on the bed, the blanket sliding dangerously low on his naked body. I look away, lest the slight lighting another fire within me, but the uncharacteristic grumble in his voice makes my gaze fly back to him. Yes, but I never enjoy it. Why would I be eager to leave you? I can only hope that will end today after we make our relationship known. I don't respond, pretending to be preoccupied with dressing myself, but I can only agree with feather in my head. I've never made a complaint to Serin about how he has to discreetly leave my room in the mornings whenever I visit. But I have to admit, it hasn't gotten any easier watching him walk out of my bedroom all those mornings. Perhaps it will change today, and I will finally be able to stay by Serin's side from now on. I'm certainly looking forward to it with all my heart. Oh, I'm so happy. I was so happy that they were going to be together in the end. I was so happy. Oh, I'm really happy. Wait, who did? Okay, but who did? So other people did other routes. Man, this is actually the work of a lot of people. Editor, proofreader, you did a bad job. I'm sorry, but you did. There's a lot of mistakes. I love that first CG of Serin. I really love the name Serin as well. Fuck, like I really actually love that name. I wish that I could already... Sorry, I'm just reading this. I wish that I could already go on to the next route. I really actually do. But it's extraordinarily late. I'm extremely happy that I finished this, his route though. I love Saren. I do. And I knew I would. I knew I would. Oh, Valkyrie. Yeah, I knew I would. I don't understand Raphael's part in it entirely, but maybe that'll be explained elsewhere. I don't know. I was genuinely a bit bummed that he turned out to be a bad person because... Well, maybe he wasn't a bad person exactly, but I guess he kind of was, but I don't know. I don't really understand. So what, they had a relationship, as in they were together? And it makes sense that Harris doesn't let anyone in his room now. That should have been suspicious from the get-go. But he made himself seem so mysterious already that it made sense that, like, if we did open the door, we'd probably just find, I don't know, something weird that we wouldn't expect, that he would be embarrassed by or something like that. So were Raphael and Harris in a relationship together? I just don't entirely understand. I'm missing 2 pictures from where? Oh my god, I love Saren so much. Oh my god, I'm missing so many pictures. Oh, I hate this. I actually hate this. Oh, the first night they fucked. Oh, he's so handsome. And I really love the name Ceres, like I really do. Man, their CGs are actually quite good. There was the one when they were here and I thought she looked a bit off, but I can actually forgive that. I don't know why she looks a bit off. Is it the... No, it's not. I don't know why it looks a tiny bit off, but it doesn't at the same time. It's really weird. But this picture is just glorious. I love this picture. Okay, so anyway, I love Saren. What was it when he did this? I can't remember when he looked like that, but god, Saren, I love him. I love Saren. I'm actually sad that I did his first, but yeah. Alms giving, kind-hearted, harmony. My growth, okay. Save a child victim. Sharp mind. Find all clues about the second antagonist. Alright. I didn't find all clues about the antagonist, so that's not good. Seren's romance ending reached his bad... I could not. I'm sorry. I don't think I could go for a friendship ending with Saren, and I don't even know how you would do that. How would you do that? Like half affection or something? I don't know, but I don't think I could do that. And also, I don't even know how I would do that. I don't know how to make him displease me, because dislike me rather, because I don't think I did anything directly to him that made him like me. I don't remember ever choosing things that made him like me, so that's just confusing. Get warned by Seridwin at the end. Oh. Get warned by Viola in the end. So this is where you choose. Yeah, I don't... representative missions. Didn't do that, no. Commoner's favorite, yeah. So, if I took the way through the town, Issa would come and warn me. If I saw a small figure, it would be Marigold who did it, but I did those. Survive. Do not get framed for the murder you didn't commit. Run and leave the assassins behind, eh? Survive the royal hunt with Serin or Nazir. Run and leave the assassins behind. Alright. Survive the slave trader, part 2. I am a scholar. I didn't know these were achievements, so I didn't get them. Damn it. Alright, well, I'm genuinely sad I have to quit and I can't play it until tomorrow night. Fudge. Okay, but thank you if you stayed with me through Seren's route. I hope you love him as much as I do. Yes, I'm a bit annoyed that there was such a lack of romance, but I don't know, like like the ending made me happy. It made me happy that that happened. And I'm gonna go for the romance route with everyone, well, just Nazir and Aurelius now. But I really like the name Serin, like I really actually love that name. So yeah. I don't know how to get his other pictures, and I really actually want them because they're so gorgeous. They're so well done. Like, I actually don't have many complaints at all about them. And I think maybe his torso is a bit long here, but it's like, it's just really good. They're really good. Look at this picture, it's so beautiful. Oh my god. Oh, but the first one will probably always have my heart. Because it's the first time I was like, ooh. But yeah, I'm excited to go onto Aurelius's route. I will miss Serin, but yeah. Anyway, I will see you in the next video where we will begin to get in Aurelius's route, which should take a shorter amount of time, considering I should be able to skip through a bunch of it. And I will see you then, bye!